What do you think could be the difference?
Active and passive voice.
Okay, what is the active voice?
The first,
The first one, okay, and the passive is the second. What is the difference between the active and the passive voice? What do you remember about this?
Subject.
Any ideas?
Teacher, maybe the active voice focus uh, in the subject,
Mm-hmm.
who does the perform. The passive voice focus in the thing or object.
Yes. Okay, very good. Yes. For example, in this sentence, our focus is on the subject, on they. Okay, they are the people who are performing the action, right? So this is the focus of the active voice. In the other one, the focus is on the object, okay? The people or thing who receives the action in the sentence. We focus on the object and also on the action. Okay, so this is the difference between the active and passive voice. It is used when the focus is on the subject, the person or thing who performs the action in the sentence, and the other one is used when the focus is on the person or thing who is affected by the action in the sentence. For example, in this one, composition is the thing that is affected by the action, okay? By the action of teach, right? We're going to make a review of the passive voice. I want you to pay attention. It says, when we have a passive voice, okay, the everything is focused on the subject, okay? So the action is focused on the subject, and the subject is at the end. Sorry, the action is focused on the object, and the subject is at the end of the sentence. Okay, so this is the order of the passive voice. For example, here we have students learn English. Is this a passive voice? What do you think? Is this a
It's no
No, no,
teacher.
no.
no,
No.
it's active, right? Because
Yes.
our focus is not on the object, is on the subject, is on the people who does or who do or perform the action, right? So this is the active voice. You know, we have a subject, a verb, and an object in the active voice, right? But in the passive voice, the structure of the sentence is a little bit different. Do you remember what is the structure of the sentence in the passive voice?
Um, Object, verb to be, in infinitive. No, no infinitive.
past participle.
Ing,
Ing, past participle, right?
past participle.
Yes, the past participle form of the verb. Luis?
No, the same that Christian said.
Okay, thank you. So here we have the object, the verb to be, the past participle form of the verb, and then if we want, we can add the subject, but don't forget that we always need to use by in the passive voice to say who is responsible of this, okay? So let's change this sentence to the passive voice. How can you change the sentence? How can you change this sentence to the passive voice?
English,
English?
English is learned.
Okay, so we change the position, yes.
English is learned by students.
Very good. English is learned by students. Very good. And we change the position of the object and the subject, right? Okay, how do you know that you need to use is learn? Why? Why do you use is learn? Any ideas?
Maybe because the object is singular.
Okay. Mhm.
Uncountable?
Okay, it's uncountable and singular. Any other ideas? And because of the verb here, the verb is in the present simple, right? So that's why my verb to be is in the present simple. I want you to take this into consideration that the verb be is the one who defines the tense of the sentence. Okay? If my verb in the active voice is in the present simple, the verb to be is in the present simple. If the verb is in the past, the verb to be needs to be in the past. Let's imagine that this verb is in the past. Let's change the verb. And we have learned. So, how can you change the sentence in the passive voice?
English was learned.
Was learned, right? So the only thing we have to change here is the verb to be. We have to change this in the past. Was learned. Okay? Imagine that this sentence is not in the past simple. It's in the present perfect. Students have learned English. What do you think is the verb here?
English had learned.
Have been.
Had
Okay.
been?
Is been.
Is
Oh.
being?
Has been learned.
Has been learned, right? Has, because it's the third person English, or is a uncountable noun. It's an uncountable noun. And been is the verb to be, right? Has been learned, right? The same if the sentence is in the past perfect, had been learned. Okay? Imagine that the sentence is not in the past perfect. Let's change here. The sentence is in the are learning. Students are learning English. How can you change the sentence? The students are learning English.
Have been could be teacher.
What tense is this? What is it?
Present continuous.
Present
Present
continuous.
continuous. Okay. So why have? Remember that we use have only in the perfect tenses, right? This is not a perfect tense.
Have
English
been.
is learning.
English is being.
Is being. Sorry. Is being learned. Ok, tenemos el presente continuo de el verbo to be. Ok, tenemos un verbo to be y un verbo con ing. Is being learned. Ok, si fuera en pasado, was being learned. Ok, si se dan cuenta, lo único que cambia para definir el tiempo gramatical de las oraciones es el verbo to be. Lo demás sigue exactamente igual. Ok, let's see here. So these are the differences between the active and the passive voice. Okay, and this is called the agent in the passive voice. Okay, the person who does the action, the subject, is called the agent in the passive voice. And remember to use always by when you are saying the agent. Okay, it says two main cases to use passive voice. When do we use the passive voice, guys? What do you remember about this? When is necessary to use the passive voice? When is necessary to use it? Any ideas? When to use the passive voice?
Maybe describing process.
Okay, yes, to describe processes, yes. Any other ideas?
When we don't know who or what did something.
Yes, when we don't know who or what performed the action, right? For example,
Maybe
yes. Any other
uh,
situation?
maybe when we want to
When we want to,
oh, when we want to I forgot.
sorry, Christian. So here we have, when you don't know the subject at all, okay? When you don't know who was the person or the people who performed the action, okay? So let's see here some examples. Steve's wallet was stolen. Maybe when he was on the bus or in the market or on the street, right? But we don't know whom, okay? We don't know by whom. Who did this? We don't know, right? So we don't know the subject at all. Another option is another example. All the cookies have been eaten. We don't know who was the person who ate the cookies. Okay? So I want you to recognize here the tense of these two sentences. What is the tense in the first one? What is the tense in the first sentence? What is the tense? ¿Cuál es el tiempo gramatical?
Past
Simple
perfect.
past.
Simple past simple, right? Yes. Simple past or past simple is the same. So, because the verb to be is in the past, right? Remember that we always use a verb to be and a verb in the past participle form. This is my verb in the past participle. But the verb to be is the one who defines what is the tense of my sentence. What about this one? What is the tense here? All the cookies have been eaten. Present perfect, right? This is the verb to be in the present perfect. And then we have the verb in the past participle form. Okay, very good. Let's see another situation. When you want to give more importance to the action, we can use also the passive voice when we want to give more importance to the action and not to the subject who performed the action, okay? For example, solar plant will be built in Gujarat. Okay, so the important thing is that the solar plant will be built and not who is the person or who are the people building this. Okay, then we have the other example. The road is being repaired. As you can see, we don't care, or it's not important who is the people, who are the people, or who is the person who is repairing the road. The important thing is the action, okay? For example, in these sentences, what is the tense in the first one? What tense are we using in the first sentence?
Future.
Future simple, right? Will be. And here we have the verb in the past participle, build. And what about this one? What is the tense? In the next sentence?
Present continuous.
Present continuous, right? Very good. And here we have the verb in the past participle form. Okay. Any questions about this, about the passive voice? As you know, we can change the passive voice in all the tenses. Okay, so this is the active, these are the tenses. Active voice, and then we have the passive voice. I want you to notice that the verb to be is the only thing we change in this passive voice. As you can see in this sentence, we are using exactly the same verb in all the tenses. Okay, so I want you to notice that the only thing we change to change the tense of the sentence is the verb to be. Okay, because the verb in the past participle is always the same. Okay, so the only thing we change is the verb to be in the different tenses. Okay. Any questions about this? Okay. Let's see. Here in your book, you have something similar. It says overview of passives. The passive sentences put emphasis on the person or thing affected by the action, and the agent may be omitted when it is not relevant. So the subject can be omitted when it is not important, right? And this is the way in which you can use the passive voice, okay? Here we have, remember that in the passive voice, the object of the sentence becomes the subject, okay? So, el objeto de la oración en la oración activa se convierte en el sujeto de nuestra oración pasiva. Por eso es que acá tenemos sujeto en lugar de objeto. Pero yo les puse objeto para que ustedes se den cuenta. Es como si fuera objeto acá, ¿ok? Object. Let's go to the next one. Notice examples in different tenses. Okay, I want you to help me to read these examples, okay? Please, Sergio, can you read the first one?
Simple present. Composition is more frequently taught in advanced classes.
Yes, this is example that we have on the presentation, right? Composition is more frequently taught in advanced classes. Okay, number 2, please, Angelo.
Present these days.
Present continuous. These days, high school students are being asked to read more than ever before.
Okay, thank you. Jorge, please, number 3.
Simple past. In the past, students were frequently asked to memorize grammar rules out of context.
Okay, asked, right? The next one, please, Daniela.
Past continuous.
Mhm.
Something students didn't know how to use the grammar structure. They were being taught.
Okay, the next one, please, Luis.
Present perfect. I have been told that I speak too quick.
Thank you. The next one, please, Melissa.
Future with going to. In a few years from now, multimedia materials are going to be used in every language classroom.
Are going to be used, right? Okay, thank you. Brenda, please. The next one.
Morals. Students should be constantly encouraged to participate in class discussions.
Okay, and Samuel, please, the last one.
Okay, past models. My friend Diane could have been offered a very good job, but she got very nervous in the interview.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Is there any of the sentence that you don't understand? You don't understand in Spanish? Any of them?
I had been told that I speak too quickly.
Se me ha dicho
Okay.
que hablo muy rápido. Any other? Okay. Let's see here. We're going to practice the passive, okay? Complete the sentences with information about your language that is true for you and that reflects your opinion. Then add 2 more sentences of your own using some of the passive verb forms from the grammar box. So here we have the sentences. Number 1, I've been told by many people that my English sounds too formal. Okay, I want you to complete the sentences from number 1 to 8 and try to add 2 more. Okay, I'm going to give you some minutes so you can do it, and then we are going to listen to your ideas.